Hi, I'm Jackie Tantillo, and this is Should Have Listened to My Mother. Thank you, as always, for listening to Should Have Listened to My Mother, and I love it when people tell their friends and family about it because it helps spread the word. And if you just take an extra minute to leave 5 stars, that would be great because we could always use the feedback and the ratings for Should Have Listened to My Mother, which is touching people all over the world. It's so exciting, and we appreciate your help. Lyvita Brooks says her mission is to help people get the clutter out of their lives so they can go and do what God calls them to do. Lyvita is an author, Bible teacher, founder of the Me Project, and host of the podcast Hanging Out with Jesus. She was born in Philly, raised in South Carolina and Philadelphia. And she and her mom had a very strong bond. In a way, they still do, though her mom is passed. And it was her mother who inspired her to write and love books. Though close, there was also a sense of inspiration and friendly competition, and we're going to get into that in a minute. In honor of her mother and a promise that she made to her mom, she's published a book of her mother's writings. Lyvita says they are to remind us about the impact of the choices we make and that quitting is not an option. The book is titled Nuggets for Thought, a mother and daughter's collection of poems, reflections, and flash fiction about the life they see. Thanks for joining me, Lyvita. It's a pleasure to have you on Should Have Listened to My Mother.
This is a pleasure. Thanks for allowing me to come.
We tried doing this a while ago, so, things work out when they're supposed to, right?
That's right.
So, from what I know, your mom, she was loved by many, let alone her students, because she was a PE teacher, a physical education teacher, correct?
That is correct. Everyone loved her.
What was her name?
Verdell.
Oh, that's beautiful. And what did her students call her?
They call her Miss Reese.
I love how you are so honest. I can kind of imagine you as a young child being as honest and direct with your mom as you seem to come across now. And I say that in a gentle way.
Yes. Yes. Being raised as a Verdell's child, especially in school. Can you imagine? My mother's the PE teacher and I'm the student. I remember this little boy telling me, well, first of all, I'm thinking that he's my boyfriend. Okay, let's just be clear. All right. So one day he said to me, I don't like you. I only hang around you because of your mother. I want to talk to her. Okay, that just crushed me.
Wait, how old were you? How old were you?
I was in elementary school. I don't know if it was fourth grade, but third grade. So it was elementary school because we were living in Washington, D.C. at that time. And talking about, listen, I love my mother, but right there just started a competition.
I bet. Did you drop him like a hot potato, I hope?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Do you know where he is now?
Don't want to know.
Oh my God, his loss. Okay, yes. That's wonderful. So yeah, that's kind of, and she worked in the school where you went to school.
Yes.
Even worse.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There was one time the alarm went off. The fire alarm went off. So we went through the fire drill and all that kind of stuff, right? Of course, my class acted up. And the teacher was scolding us, telling us that what we did was wrong and all that. Well, little old me decided to join with the kids in the back that were talking. But she didn't call anybody's name. She called my name. Lyvita, go to your mother.
Ooh, that's scary.
I'm the only one in the school. Right.
Very
I'm
scary.
the only one in the school whose mother is right down the hallway. So my mother, she said to me, you know how they call you your whole name and you can't quite hear it, but you hear it perfectly?
Yes.
Well, honey, she told me that, make this the last time you show up in my office for whatever it is that you've done. I looked at her and shook my head. I'm telling you, my mother never had a problem with me again.
Well, you know what? I guess there's something to be said about once and done, right? You got the message.
Yes.
Loud and clear. Wow. Yes. So it's so fascinating to me. Babies are basically, their personality is, they are who they are from the minute they are born. The second they come out of the womb. One of my sons came out and yawned. The other one came out screaming. And it's pretty much their personalities in a way still today. But you guys had each other's number from a young age, and yet you were madly in love with each other.
Yeah, we were. It's kind of love where there was this competition we were having. The only problem is I was the one competing against her, and she wasn't competing. She was just being herself.
Right.
She didn't catch on. It wasn't until she got sick that we actually had a conversation about me competing against her. And she just smiled.
Yeah, she knew the whole time.
Yeah, she knew. Yes. She said she knew, but it wasn't like a big deal to her. To me, it was huge because my goal was to win. And she said, if you knew my mother, she would like shrug her shoulders. And that was her indication of, okay, whatever. All right.
That probably was frustrating to you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Almost a dismissal or dismissiveness.
Yes. And that was the competition, you know. But yes, but she was fun to be with. She really was.
And did you talk when you became the caregiver, primary caregiver, did you spend more time looking back and going over your relationship over the years? Did you have a lot of those one-on-one?
Oh, yes. Yes, we did. I remember one time, because at the time she was going through this, I was in seminary school. So I was sitting there doing my work, and out the corner of my eye, she was looking at me. So I looked at her and said, Mom, why are you staring at me? She didn't even answer. She just turned her head and looked at the TV. I said, Mom. and we just both started laughing.
Oh, good.
But that was a time where I could actually take care of my mom. Now, mind you, my aunt Rudine, she was with me during this whole time. She was on it. But in my head, thinking back as a little girl all the way up to where I am now, my cousins have always been a big part of my life. So if something happens in their lives, they will come to my mother for advice, or they just come and hang out with my mother. They in essence would take away my time with my mother. You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
Now, remember, I'm an only child now.
You didn't like this?
No.
Them taking time away from your mom?
Mm-mm. So I know it sounds weird, but that's how it was. And when I talked to her about it, you know, while she's sick in the bed and all that,
yeah,
I began to realize that they never took away my time for her because we were always together. Even when they were there, we were together. You know,
right. But as a child, you don't, I mean,
yes.
You know, it's the same thing with the the competition thing. This was something that was like, you were like, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
And
yes.
to her, it was like water on the duck's back, right? And,
Right.
But it's your personality, right? That if she changed her responses, then perhaps you would have developed a different personality or different responses, or even gotten more angry or more frustrated.
Yeah, because I just held on to it. But it was like a beautiful moment, because I had her all to myself, and there were moments where it was just us, just talking and reliving and just being each other. And she always tell me, "You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right." As if I need to hear that. And you know what? Yeah, I need to hear that.
I think we all probably, especially as kids, that everything is going to be all right. I mean, just to make you and or any child feel safe and loved.
Yeah. But she was saying this while she was sick.
Yeah, because she wanted you to make sure that you were going to be all right, and she loved you for who you were and what you represented. Because it's scary, right? You two are like the dynamic duo.
Well, Jackie, see, I didn't think she was going to pass. So her saying that to me was like, "Oh, Ma, I don't need to hear that, because you're not going anywhere. You're gonna get well."
Yeah.
And that the point I'm trying to make is, even in that, there was a competition.
Oh, you guys.
Because it's like she won.
Oh, my gosh.
She won.
Why? Because she went first?
No, but because what she had said, that I was going to be all right, I actually needed to hear that after she passed.
Yeah. She knew.
So
she knew right. You were going to be, you're going to totally be great.
Yes. But see, once again, that was that competition.
Wow.
It's just that competition. She wasn't supposed to be right. I was right.
Oh, my gosh. You're amazing. So can I ask, your mom raised you as a single mom?
Yes.
Okay. And the aunt that you just referred to, that was her sister?
Yeah, her oldest sister.
Did she have many siblings, your mom?
There was 9 of them.
Oh, that's the best.
That was 9.
So you would get upset when all of that large family would come and take your mom. Was your mom the oldest of the 9?
She was the baby.
She was the baby. Interesting. But they would come for her for advice.
Yeah. And she always taught me family is number 1. Take care of family.
What was it about her personality or her wisdom, or what was it that made all the other 8 siblings come to her for advice?
Because she was my mother. Jackie, and I say that with all sincerity, because she was my mother. And the reason I was so inspired by her was because of she made you feel like you were the most important person to her at that time. You see what I'm saying? She made
I totally do. That's magic.
It's just like you're sitting there with her with 50 million people around you, and she knows all of them. But when she looks at you and talks to you, there's nobody in the world but just you and her.
Right. Well, that's pretty magical.
Yeah. But like I said, it's my mother, and it should have been my magic. But that was our only child.
There's many reasons that you guys had a special relationship, let alone you being her only baby.
Yeah. Yes.
And her number 1 in her life.
Yes.
This kind of magic that you and her family experienced, is that how she was inspirational to her students as well?
Yeah, I have a cousin who constantly reminds me of feeling special, feeling unique when she's around my mother. And my aunt Bagley, she used to talk about how special being around mom. So, yes, her students, yes. I remember one of my cousin's father came by, knocked on mom's door, and all he wanted was to talk and have Ma pray for him. That's all he wanted.
Wow, she had some powers, didn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, we all do, but they knew something. They knew that she was special.
Yeah, she was definitely a blessing from God. Because, I mean, that's why he went to her. It's like, wow, Ma, I said, that's something. And she just said, mm-hmm.
I'll take care of it. That was our mom. We still ask our mom and dad, because I'm from a family of 7, but we still ask our mom and dad, though they're passed, to take on something or to help us through something. They are magical to us still. I totally understand it, and I believe that. Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, because every once in a while, Jackie, I say, Lord, can I just talk to my mama for a second? Just for a second.
Yeah, I think that's allowed.
So I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So you remember, from what I heard, I think, or read, you remember your mom writing.
Yes.
So did you pick out an excerpt from your book that you'd like to read now for us?
Oh, yes. Yes, yes. And can I just say, she would sit in this yellow chair with the plastic on it, and she would just write. Oh, it was just special.
Wow.
That's how I came up with Friendly Competition. This is something I wrote. Competing against the unfinished work of my mother's pen, the concentrated thoughts flowing through the steady glide of her pen, intensified by the line between her eyebrows. I'm fixated by the muse that covers her being as if human to pen, to paper are one. The rhythmic tapping of pen upon paper lulls me to dreamland, uninhibited by constraints, not moving, thinking. The muse comes to me like rain hitting on a tree leaf, moves me to win, moves me to write. The sound of my mother's pen softens my muse. And then I have sleeping sounds. That's why I said, procrastination wins again.
I can see her sitting in the chair with the plastic. You're very funny. So did you write this before or after your mom passed?
I was in my 20s, yeah.
And your mom was still alive?
Yes.
Yeah. So you talked about putting this book out.
Yeah, because see, one of the things I told her, and it was because at this time I was living in Maryland. So I told her that, Ma, one day I'm going to publish your writings. Because I kept seeing her do it. The funny thing, Jackie, the funny thing is that at the age of 12, I actually wrote a book. Now, to me, the book is stapled rule line papers together. Okay.
That's good. I like that. First edition.
Yes. So I had the title page, table of contents, back page, front page that I've designed and everything. And I remember showing that to my mother, and she said, oh, okay, that is nice. Yes. So I published a book. So it's always been in me to write and to publish. But what I didn't know is that was the beginning of me understanding or growing into developing LRW publications. Because when I got my 20s, I started learning more about publishing. And then in my 30s, I actually put together a publication company. And yet I still didn't I still didn't publish my mother's work. I didn't do that until after she passed. And she passed in 2017.
But there's a time and a place.
Yes.
But I'm curious, did you ever, were these your mom writing in these notebooks? Was it kind of like her diary? Did you ever sneak a peek at what she was writing about?
Oh, sometimes she'd read them to me.
Oh, so it wasn't like her, Lyvita was so bad today. It wasn't diary entries.
No.
That would have been fun.
We would laugh because she had one where it says the kids were cursing each other and they were trying to figure out, no, she was trying to figure out, well, who won? Who won the cursing?
Oh, dear.
because they were just cursing at each other. So she wrote about that. So she would read that to me and we would both laugh because we're both educated. We could both understand
exactly where they were in their life. Yeah. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny
now.
So, yes. Yes. And then we would have conversations about parents disciplining their children. So she wrote about that. And she wrote about, are you 20% off or are you 100% off? Meaning intellectual. She did a lot of things that relate to the things that were happening in her school while she was teaching.
She had a lot to write about. She had a lot to write about. My gosh.
Yes.
Teachers have eyes on so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them I couldn't put in the book because they were unfinished. And I couldn't figure out how to complete them.
Right. You didn't want to put words in her mouth.
Right.
Right. What you read for us a minute ago is just one little segment from Nuggets for Thought, a mother and daughter's collection of poems, reflections, and flash fiction about the life they see, by my guest, Lyvita Brooks. And Lyvita is spelled Lyv, as in Victor, Ita, Lyvita Brooks, and her mom, Verdell. Where is your book available? Amazon?
Yeah, it's Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Yeah.
There is one more story I'd like for you to share with us. You were trying to up your mom, or not beat, but you were always competing with her in regard to salary as a teacher.
Oh, that's what you know.
Talking about friendly competition.
When I received my job, my number one goal was to make more money than my mother. That was my number one goal. And when I finally did, because she was coming close to retirement, when I finally did, I called her up. I was all excited. Jackie, I was excited. And I told her, and she said, Lyvita, that is great.
Oh, you were expecting her to get upset or something?
I'm thinking that,
friendly competition.
Yes, I won. I actually won. So, but what's so funny is that the things that I thought were important to beat her in weren't to her. When I received my bachelor's degree, my master's degree, this lady was elated. You hear me? She was telling everybody. She was just excited.
Rightfully so, right? Rightfully so.
But that was, to her, more important. Even getting a job with benefits was more important than the salary thing. Because to her, if you think about it, if you compare my salary now to her salary back then, it was supposed to change.
Right.
I'm supposed to make more money than her.
But she was your as we said, your inspiration, your guiding light, but she was helping you find yourself and figure out who Lyvita wants to be and who Lyvita is going to be.
That's right. That's right. It was all she was, what does it say? Iron sharpens iron. And she did her job. She did it well.
Wow.
Yeah.
We spend so much time trying to figure out the why or the when or why, how as kids, right?
Oh, yes, we do. We do.
I always say you are where you are today because that's exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And the people in your lives are there for a reason to help shape and mold you as well. And my mama and my aunts and uncles and all them and cousins, they all were part of it. Yes.
Right. Friend or foe.
Friends too. Yes.
Everyone and everything presents itself for a reason,
yes.
Right? Isn't it crazy?
Yes,
if we would just relax and just not fight it all the time, we'd be much happier and calmer.
Oh, thank you. And when you say calmer, it's like, yes.
Right? We got to exhale. Learn to exhale.
Yes.
Lyvita, it is an absolute pleasure to speak with you, and thank you so much for sharing these stories of your mom, Verdell.
Thank you, Jackie. I enjoyed it, and I'm so happy we made it together. Yeah. We had the opportunity to talk together. Yes.
And we'll be back next week with another episode of Should Have Listened to My Mother.